Good morning, FCC Jeffersonville. It is time for today's daily devotion with, you could probably just call me Shaggy at this point. I'm looking pretty rough. We are once again creation revelation. It's different than revelation and revolution are two different things, I think. There's some theological thoughts in there, but I won't share them. Uh, if you haven't bought this book, it is available Kindle, electronic ebook, or print book. It's really good survey of going through the whole Bible really quickly, going themes, broad strokes, and I'm a fan of those broad strokes when doing Bible study sometimes. But Chad Monday talked about anxiety with the Israelites. And then yesterday, Amanda talked about food scarcity and that issue. Today, one of the questions in the back has questions for deliberation. That sounds so serious, but questions for reflection. It's a little more friendly. Um, if people in the year 3000 look back at our culture, for what do you think we will be most prominently remembered? Our science, our engineering, our democracy, our wealth, our generosity, our fear? What would you like most? What would you most like our society to be remembered for? And I think it's a great question. What do you want us to be remembered for? What is our legacy? Not only personally, but as a church, as a state of Indiana, as Hoosiers, as a nation, and as a race, a human race. What do we want our legacy to be? For the Israelites, they pretty much had the concept of monotheism, which once again is really more God creating monotheism more than the Israelites. But they also have beautiful literature that they remember for. They're not remembered for architecture or giant colosseums or pyramids. Those belong to other nations. The Israelites, though, are remembered for their literature, for the Bible, specifically the Old Testament, the Hebrew Bible. Beautiful poetry in Psalms, Ecclesiastes, Proverbs. They're known for a written history. They're known for prophetic literature. But they are also known for monotheism because in the world that they found themselves in, it was a world filled with what's called polytheism. Poly meaning many, theism meaning God, so many gods. So, every culture would believe there's a sun god, or there's a god of the rain, or god of the harvest. And every little thing in life you could blame on some kind of deity or spirit. The most famous for us in Western culture would be the Greek and Roman pantheon of gods. God Zeus is the god of thunder, the head of all the gods. Ares, or Mars, if you're more of a Roman person, is the god of war. And Artemis is the goddess of the hunt, etc., etc. That's what we're familiar with. But the Israelites are very particular and by particular, I could also probably say peculiar in the ancient world because they weren't polytheistic. They may have been in the beginning, but then beginning with Abraham, maybe depending on your historicity of Job and all of that, they changed. God said, "I am God," not "we are God," not "I am one of many gods" and all of that. I am God. And so this whole tradition of monotheism that we have in Christianity became into existence for humanity at that point. There is one God. There are not many gods. We don't worship a sun god, a water god, a god of the sea. We worship God, one, uno, singular. And that's what the Israelites were known for, the literature and their religion. So my question to us is, what do we want to be remembered for? Not what will we be remembered for, but ask yourselves, what would you like us as whomever, what would our legacy be? What do you want our legacy to be? Do you want it to be in FCC, a people of hope, that we share hope with people, and how that translates by helping people with food, with money, being involved in our community, and spreading the hope of Jesus Christ through our material blessings, being the hands and feet of Christ. What do we want our city and our nation to be? What is that legacy? Do we want to be known that we were the biggest and best military power in the world? Do we want to be known as a democratic republic, spreading the ideals of democracy to the world? Or do we want to be known as a people of kindness, compassion? That's up to you. That's for you to decide, for you to reflect on. I have my own views, but whatever you decide on, that's something that you need to work on in yourself. You know, if you want us to be a people of hope in America, that's something we need to cultivate within ourselves. And if we don't see that in America today, uh, we need to be proclaiming that, and we need to figure out ways, how can we change our country so that our legacy is a people of hope. Another question to consider: what do we want the world to remember about right now? Do we want to the world to remember and reflect that we are a people afraid, that we are people defeated by COVID? Or do we want to for history to remember us as a people of hope, as a people of legacy, as a people who did not give up, even when times were hard and we were being forced to stay at home? Do we want history to say, man, quarantine got the best of them? Or do we want to say, man, they got the best of the quarantine? I'm hoping it would be the latter, that we don't let this quarantine defeat us, that we use our time to the best of our ability to become better people, to become the people that we want to be. Uh, you know, yeah, there are going to be tough days. This morning, rough, big emotions all around the house, mostly with the kids and getting them to do schoolwork without us killing them and them killing each other and all of that. But that's, 3 hours. Let's make a change. Let's say, okay, we're not going to let this quarantine defeat us today. Literally 10 minutes ago, before I was about to record this video, I was ready to email Amanda saying, nope, this is not going to happen today. You're going to have to do it, because this day, between work, between the kids and homeschooling and all of that, it has beaten me. And I started thinking about what I was going to say. And it's like that thing in the back of my head. What do I want my legacy to be for today? Do I want it to be that today got the better of me, or that I conquered today, that I beat it down and hope won, not despair? So, yeah, what do you want your legacy to be from right now? And what do you want your legacy to be 1,000 years from now? Do you want it to be that you are a person of hope? You are a person of love, of care, of compassion? That is up to you. You decide what your legacy is going to be. Um, and if right now you honestly look and say, my legacy is not going to be what I want it to be, guess what? Tomorrow is not written yet. You can make that change. Um, you can change who you are. You can become more like Jesus. You can become more hopeful, more compassionate. If you want to control your anger more, you can do that. You can work on that. Many of us have time to work on that right now. So I just want to challenge all of us to think about what our legacy is going to be in our lives, but also what is our legacy going to be right now during the COVID time. Um, Chad mentioned the meme of, you know, Daddy, why is Grandma always Cloroxing down our groceries? Oh, son, it's because she lived through the great COVID quarantine. Do we want that to be our legacy? Or do we want to say, man, they have hope. Oh, it's because they lived through the COVID quarantine. So, what's your legacy? Honestly, look at that. Ask yourself what you want your legacy to be. Then ask yourself, what will your legacy be? And if they're not matching, what changes can you make to kind of bring them a little closer together? Thanks. Have a fantastic day. It's going to be beautiful today. So, get out there if you can, get some exercise, walk around, get some vitamin D. It should be pretty sunny. I'm excited about that. So, blessings today. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you Sunday.